All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rafi Chowdhury here, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about how to not come off as creepy when you're approaching women on social media. So, I'm going to share with you guys 7 different rules that I particularly would recommend that you use, and they work really well. And they're verified because before I made this video, I've interviewed and surveyed, you know, dozens of girls, and they all seem to agree on these general principles. Rule number one: when you add a girl on Facebook, you want to go ahead and send her a note along with the friend request, and kind of let her know like who you are and why you want to connect with her. Something along the lines of, "Hey, I found you on such and such page. I would love to connect with you because I noticed that you're interested in such and such topic as well. And if you are interested, you know, accept my friend request." Just adding that small note to your friend request automatically lets her know that it's not just a random shot in the dark type of friend request. That there's actually some sort of idea, some sort of purpose behind why you want to connect with her. Rule number two is that once she does accept the friend request, do send her a message. Well, you've already sent her a message if you followed rule number one. But if she doesn't respond, even if you've noticed that she's seen the message, don't reply right away. Don't send another message right away. Wait a day or so, and then say, "Hey, such and such," and you address them by their first name. Hey, Jane, I noticed that I sent you this message and you accepted my friend request, but you haven't really responded to my last message. So I was just curious, did you see my message? Just sending a follow up message a couple of days later just kind of lets her know that you're not like super enthusiastic and just like just don't be that into it so that you're like constantly just messaging her and bothering her with it. Just wait a day or so and then send her a message the next day. Rule number three that I would recommend is that when you're adding women on Facebook, just try to add people that you have mutual friends with. That way, it doesn't come off as just a cold friend request, cold turkey. Instead, that you have some sort of rapport that you can build up, and they're much more likely to actually accept a friend request if you guys have something in common with each other, in aka mutual friends. So try to find women that you have some mutual friends with, and send them a friend request rather than just randomly sending friend requests. So tip number four that I would like to share with you guys is make sure that when you're doing this type of approaching women on Facebook, make sure that your Facebook profile looks solid, right? It should have a lot of information about you, who you are, what do you do for work, where did you go to school, what city do you live in. It should have a really nice profile picture that shows you doing something cool or with your friends or something like that. You should have a really good cover photo. You should have actually things on your profile that you've shared. This kind of gives her an idea of who you are, what kind of person you might be, and it makes her feel a little bit more comfortable accepting that friend request than if you just have nothing on your profile. Rule number four is that when you're adding, just add from targeted groups. This is kind of similar to what I said about adding, people that you have mutual friends with. You want to add people that have something in common with you. So if you like playing soccer, add from soccer related pages that are near your city. If you enjoy doing basketball, add people from basketball groups. If you enjoy like painting or arts or religious activities, try to find something that you guys both have in common and add women from those kind of groups only. Tip number six that I would recommend is that when she does message you back, don't immediately say, "Hey, you want to hang out?" Okay, just try to get to know her first. Get her, send a few messages back and forth, and just say, "Hey, I noticed that you enjoyed this, and tell me a little bit more about that," or just let her know like why you're connecting with her, and share a little bit about yourself as well. Don't just make it like a interview, just where you're just asking her question after question, but just you know share something about yourself as well. And that way, again, you're just trying to make her feel comfortable. You're trying to get to a point where she feels comfortable talking to you before you ask her to hang out. And tip number seven: when you get to a point that you do get a girl to say yes to a hangout, just make it at a public place. Go to Starbucks, go to a coffee shop somewhere, go to a public event somewhere. But there's going to be other people. Don't make it a one-on-one. Don't invite her to your apartment. None of that stuff. It's just not a good idea for a first meetup. You want to ideally meet up with somewhere that's kind of like in in a public setting where there are other people, but not necessarily with your friends, because it might be too much for her to meet you and your friends at the same time on like a first time meeting. So you want to make it kind of like just you guys and kind of casual. The best thing I would recommend is a coffee shop where you can go and play some board games or something like that. So you guys have something to do on your first meetup. And again, so if you follow those general principles, you should be good to go. And again, if you see that the girl clearly didn't accept your friend request, just ignore it, move on, to another person. And if you see that she's not responding to your messages after a couple of messages, just leave it alone. She's clearly not interested, and you shouldn't be spamming her with more messages after that. Hope these tips are helpful for you guys. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer those questions. Take care.